Hey vinyl community, hey new wavers, it's Shad with Vinyl New Wave. It's been a little hot minute since I did a video, and well, I just kind of was getting burned out, so I decided to take a little bit of a break. But I've still been having a lot of fun on Instagram, so if you're not already, follow me on Instagram. You get to see what I listen to every day. Coming to you today with a little video of the records that I picked up over the months of June and July, and maybe even up into May. I know in the last video I said I was going to stop buying things, and I definitely slowed down, but a couple opportunities presented themselves, and so I've picked up some things. So I thought I'd just share them with you. So first of all, if you notice, my t-shirt here is the logo of Mute Records. I was on the Mute Records website a while ago, just poking around, and I noticed that they had what they called a Mute starter pack. And I really decided to pick one up because it was like 20 something bucks, but it included this record here, which is the Normal, which is the first record that Mute ever released. Daniel Miller, who is the founder of Mute Records, this is his band, and the song, it has two songs on it. One's Warm Leatherette and the other is TVOD. Two great tunes, two classic early synth pop tunes. I've always wanted a copy of this record, and just never kind of came across one. Lo and behold, they had this Mute starter pack that included this record, this t-shirt, and a record tote bag, all for like $24 or something like that. It was on sale. So it was a great deal, definitely worth picking up. So I did. Now I've got Normal, which is cool. All right, next up, many of you in the vinyl community know Wes, down in Florida, Super Wes. I was browsing through his for sale list on Discogs and his want list, and realized that I had a record that he was looking for, and he had a couple records that I was looking for. And so I contacted him, and we worked out a trade. So first of all, from Wes, I got the 12-inch single for Never Turn Away from Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Great tune, love it. Love OMD. And second, a copy of U2's The Unforgettable Fire, their seminal album with Pride in the Name of Love, The Unforgettable Fire, of course, and Bad. I mean, it's arguably one of U2's best albums. So I was very happy to finally get a copy of that on vinyl. I've, of course, had it on CD and digitally forever, but was glad to get that. Next up, I've got a 21-year-old daughter that over the last 6 months has gotten into collecting vinyl, and she loves Post Malone, who is a rapper, hip-hop artist, who incidentally has a home about 4 miles away from here. He gets seen all over town. But she really loves Post Malone, and he had a new album that came out. It was supposed to be a record store day drop, but they just decided to release it outside of record store day. And my daughter pre-ordered it, so she was headed downtown to the record store to pick it up, and she asked me if I wanted to go along, and how can I turn down a trip to the record store, right? So we went, she picked up her album, and I picked up a couple things myself. First of all, 12-inch single for No Big Deal from Love and Rockets. I love this tune. What a great tune. And Love and Rockets, out of the ashes of Bauhaus comes a band that just really is rocked. And And then second thing that I got at that store was a copy of They Might Be Giants. Their first album. This is also known as the Pink Album. This is a hand-numbered and limited edition repress. You can see the number in there. On this great pink vinyl. Like here's this 180 gram pink vinyl. Really nice record. Really nice pressing. Sounds great. And you know, how can you go along with good classic songs like Don't Let's Start, of course. They're kind of breakthrough. Put Your Hand Inside the Puppet Head, which is a great tune. She Was a Hotel Detective. Just a lot of really good tunes. They Might Be Giants. If you're not into They Might Be Giants, there's something wrong with you because they're just happy music, you know? On our way home from that record store, we were driving by another record store and I said, let's stop. So we went into that record store and he has this big section of like 80s 12-inch singles and stuff, and usually I go through it and I'll say, hey, I want that. But he had them like, for the longest time, he had them like way overpriced. But he's dropped the prices on most of them now. So I grabbed a bunch of them. They were all like $5 or less. Start off with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, copy of Rage Hard plus it's the second one of Rage Hard. So I think that's like the third Rage Hard 12-inch I have, I think now. Great song by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That second album just didn't get the love that it should have. I picked a couple 12-inch singles from Fine Young Cannibals. This one is for Blue. The song Blue. This one actually has a kind of a slight warp in it. It's kind of not, which really affects the play. So I'm gonna have to maybe see if I can figure out how to flatten that record. And next up is a 12-inch for I'm Not the Man I Used to Be by Fine Young Cannibals. Great tune. Love it. So Fine Young Cannibals. Then a 12-inch single for Let's Go by Wang Chung. This has got a remix by Shep Pettibone on it that's really, really pretty good. Let's Go. I'm happy to pick up that one. And then a 12-inch single for That's Love That It Is by Blancmange. Got a great 7.5 minute remix of That's Love That It Is, but also has a good remix of Don't Tell Me on here as well. So really great 12-inch single by Blancmange. Then The Human League, The Lebanon, 12-inch single. Great tune. And then 12-inch single from Kim Wilde's You Keep Me Hanging On. Love this song by Kim Wilde. I'm kind of a Kim Wilde fan. I've got several over 12-inch singles, but I don't have her album. I need to find those at some point. And the last record I picked up, there, was Josie Cotton. Convertible Music. This is the album that has Johnny Are You Queer on it. And it's actually a really great album. I was surprised. I sat down and listened to it, and it's a good, solid album all the way through. Josie Cotton, Convertible Music. But of course, the big hit that everyone knows is Johnny Are You Queer. Next up, couple records that I just picked up off of Amazon. First off is a 12-inch single for I Don't Wanna by the Pet Shop Boys. This is off of their latest album, Hotspot. A quartet of remixes. Well, 3 remixes in the album version. Great song. I love this. This whole album from Pet Shop Boys is really good, and these remixes are pretty good. I was a little disappointed because the B-side to this, to I Don't Wanna, is a song that they originally wrote back before they wrote even West End Girls, or at around the same time that they wrote West End Girls. But they didn't include it on the 12-inch. It's only on the CD single or digitally. So I was kind of bummed about that, but hey, I don't wanna. And next up is a band that has local roots here in Utah. Oop. It is the Imagine Dragons. This is the Evolve album. Like I said, they got their start here in Utah, about an hour south in Provo, and they're a great band. You know, some more modern alternative. We were watching documentary that Dan Reynolds, the lead singer of the band, did about LGBTQ youth. Suicides and how that community feels marginalized here in Utah, especially. And there's this epidemic of suicides of kids in that demographic, and it follows his efforts to put together a music festival to help raise awareness and also raise funds for organizations that help in that. And so every year, except this year, they've put on a big festival, a big music festival, it's called the Love Loud Festival, where they bring together a bunch of artists to support LGBTQ youth. And so I've wanted the album for a long time, and it was a good deal on Amazon, so I just grabbed it. Next up is a bunch of records from Dead or Alive. I know I said I really liked Dead or Alive when I was growing up. They were one of my favorite bands up through middle and high school. First off, this 12-inch single for Something in My House. I actually got this at the same record store where I got all those other 80s 12-inches, but this one is in very good plus shape. It was in really, really great shape. I already have this, but my copy is just beat up. It got played a lot. And then on top of that, it was originally owned by a friend of mine, and he was in a religious house that he just didn't like the cover, because you can see there's a lot of religious or even sacrilegious imagery on here, and he felt that that didn't invite the spirit, so he cut the seams, cut the sleeve down the seams, and then folded it inside out on itself, and then taped it together with yellow duct tape. So the cover was just completely beat up. So I decided and I saw this and I was like, I had to buy it because it was in such good shape to replace my other one. Next up, some albums from Dead or Alive. Some time ago, Music on Vinyl did re-releases of all of the Dead or Alive albums that are on Epic Records, and this was their fourth and final record on Epic. This is called Nude. Great album, has Turn Around and Count to 10, Baby Don't Say Goodbye, Come Home With Me Baby. Those were the three singles, if I remember correctly. But there's a bunch of other songs on here that are really good. Of course, I had the original Japanese CD of this, which has a different cover, but I never had it on vinyl, so I I had decided recently that I really wanted to collect all of these music on vinyl, colored vinyl variants of all of their Dead or Alive albums. And so I saw this one for a reasonable price on, I don't remember what, I think it was Amoeba had it actually. So, so I ordered it, picked it up. That one, and this is, like I said, this is the colored vinyl version of it. So it's got a number, it's numbered. But this one comes on this really cool pink and black swirled vinyl. So I was really, really happy to pick that one up. Like I said, my goal is to pick up the others. I have Mad, Bad, and Dangerous to Know on the white vinyl. The next one up that I need to pick up is Sophisticated Boom Boom. It's on kind of an orange and black swirl vinyl. That one shouldn't be too difficult to find. But the one that's going to be harder to find is Youthquake on purple vinyl, because that one, you know, obviously it has You Spin Me and My Heart Goes Bang. It's got kind of Dead or Alive's biggest hits on it. So that one's going to be a little bit tougher to find, and I'm going to have to spend some money on that. So that'll probably have to wait a while until I can find a good price on it. But well, and even find one, they're kind of there are not a ton of them for sale out there. And the ones that are for sale are like in Europe, and with COVID, the shipping and stuff is kind of a nightmare. So I may have to wait on that one. However, after those, once they left Epic Records, once Dead or Alive left Epic Records, they were on some other record. I can't even remember what record label these were on, mainly because they were released primarily in Japan. After that, all their albums were mainly Japanese. Their next album was, this album was called Fan the Flame Part 1. Don't let that fool you, there was never a Part 2. This was just re-released recently by Demon Records back in June, I think. I got a little case of FOMO with this. I decided I need to have it, and so I ordered it. It comes on this really, you know, on this white vinyl. Not their best album. It's okay. It's got a couple good songs on it, but they kind of lost their edge. But me being a completist, I decided that I should get it. That's another one that I had on CD. I actually have the Japanese CD from when it came out. And finally, one that came out last week is the album Nucleopatra. This one is the 25th anniversary edition. Kind of their final real studio album. And even when this one, it was kind of questionable. This one came out in '95. It's got a few good songs on here. I mean, all the songs are reasonably good, but of note, there's a really great cover of David Bowie's "Rebel Rebel" on here, and "Sex Drive," which was a hit that Pete Burns did with a DJ conglomerate called Glam. That was a 12-inch single that got released a long time before this, sometime before this, and then they included it on this album. But and then they've also kind of end up doing some other rehashes of older songs from the last album on this one, which kind of becomes a theme for Dead or Alive. They've got this one came on this really nice blue vinyl. FOMO kind of bit me on this one too, although I was kind of happy I delayed ordering this. I didn't pre-order it, and then I went the day of release to order it, and it was already out of stock on Amazon, and everywhere I could find it was out of stock. And then the third-party sellers started coming in with it, and asking almost double for it. So I was kind of freaking out, and then I actually found it on towerrecords.com of all places, and got it for like the $25 that it should have been. This is a double LP. It's limited to like 1,000 pieces, so there's not a ton of them out there. But I was really happy to get it. I was really happy. Dead or Alive has a couple more albums. There's one called Fragile. That one comes out in a couple weeks. I pre-ordered that one. It's got a couple of newer songs, but then it's also, again, has a whole bunch of rehash of their older songs. And then there's another album coming out at the end of August called Unbreakable, which is remixes of the Fragile album. And that's it for the Dead or Alive albums, you know. So I've got those ordered. I've got those pre-ordered. Got some other things pre-ordered. The new Erasure album I pre-ordered. Duran Duran has a reissue of their live album from the Diamond in the Mind tour. So I'm excited to get that one. There's, I think, one or two other things that I pre-ordered that come out over the next couple months. So I'm excited to, you know, there's a lot of new music coming out. Unfortunately, all of the live shows are kind of not happening anymore. I was supposed to see Kraftwerk live last month. Obviously, that didn't happen. The Pet Shop Boys and New Order co-headlining tour got pushed to next year. I've got tickets to see Aha in September down in Los Angeles, but I have a feeling that that's going to get canceled or delayed. I haven't heard anything about it yet, but you know, seeing as how Los Angeles is kind of the new COVID-19 hotspot, I just don't see that happening. So I hope everybody's well. I hope everyone's doing pretty good. I'm doing, you know, we're doing pretty well here. You know, same old, same old. We've got, I'm working from home. My wife, I think, is working from home. I will probably end up working from home permanently, is kind of what it sounds like. My boss is okay with that, and the company is okay with that, so I probably will end up just working from home permanently. Cross my fingers. I should know more next week. Kids are all doing well. We're trying to decide what to do about school because they're supposed to start school in 3 weeks. 3 or 4 weeks, and so the school district came down and said, okay, if they want to do school from home, they can do school from home, but you have to decide by 31st of July. So we got to sit down with the kids this week and decide what we want to do for school for the 3 that are still in school. It's a crazy time. So I hope everybody's doing well. And if you liked any of these records that I showed, you know, thumbs up, please leave comments. Geez, you know, if you haven't already subscribed, and until next time, remember, you spin me around like a record, baby.